Hi everybody and welcome to this new video. As you can hear, it's a special one. It's not in French, it's in English. I tried once, a few years ago, to record a video in English. It was about an 18xx game, I think. And when I tried to edit it, I was so ashamed of my English pronunciation that I think I deleted all the files. I'm trying again for fun and to have the opinion of some people about my level of spoken English. I had no special plan for this video, so I just thought about Pandemic, one of my favorite cooperative board games. I checked on BGG, and as I remembered, there is I need to read out all the tabs. Yes, on the website Board Game Geek there is a system of different let's say criteria, sorting criteria. Yes, so there are board game families, and for example there is a Pandemic family which regroups all the board games or dice games, and I think there is one card game linked to the original Pandemic game. So in this almost completely unprepared and unscripted video, I'm going to comment all the items in this board game family. So let's start. The first one, Pandemic, by designer Matt Leacock, published by Z-Man Games and a bunch of other board gaming publishers. Yes, you can see that here. So, Chinese version, Serbian, Arabic, another English version, Czech, I never know how to pronounce it, Italian, Ukrainian, Hebrew, etc., etc. Apparently more than 80 versions of this game. So Pandemic is usually considered as the birth of the cooperative board games. As I said before, it's one of my favorites in this kind of games, the games where you don't play against the other players but with the other players and against the game. Yeah, I don't think I have more to say. The second one, Pandémie 8 Breeding des Généralistes, limited blah 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 blah, released in the Netherlands. I don't know it. Okay. Yeah. Oh, plus I don't speak Dutch, so my pronunciation is even worse than my English pronunciation. Next one, Pandemic on the Brink, expansion for Pandemic, new event cards, new role cards, rules for 5 players, and optional game challenges to increase the difficulty of the base game. These new challenges, which can be used individually or combined for even more difficult play, are as follows. The Virulent Strain challenge makes one disease become particularly deadly in unpredictable ways. The Mutation challenge adds the 5th, purple, disease that behaves differently than the original 4. The Bioterrorist challenge pits one player against the others. So, the 3 expansion for Pandemics. I have played all them, but because when I play Pandemic I mix all the expansion, I don't remember what addition comes from which one. In each, as I have read, in each expansion you have some modules, and when you are a fan of a game and you store everything in one box, you don't sort all the modules by original box, and in the end you see everything as more pandemic. So the variant strain makes one disease. I'm not sure which one it is, but I think it's the one that has event cards that say, from now on there is this particular behavior for this disease. Okay. Yeah, why not? The mutation, a fifth disease, well, it's a bit like more of the same. Yeah. So a fifth disease, and I'm trying to think. The 4 original diseases are linked to world regions. So for example, North America and Europe, Africa and Asia, South of Africa and South of America, and Asia. The fifth one, if I remember correctly, at the beginning of the game, you attribute it to a few towns, few cities rather, and the propagation starts from there. I don't remember all the details, but, well, having 5 diseases instead of 4 is an interesting challenge. The Bioterrorist, I have never played it because it turns a cooperative game into a 1 versus all game, and, well, I have never been tempted to change the game that much. Yeah, okay, so, by the way, this is the box art, and, I should have mentioned that earlier, the expansion is from Matt Leacock and Thomas Lehmann, designer of Race for the Galaxy. Yes. Okay, so next one. Pandemic in the Lab. Once again by Matt Leacock and Thomas Lehmann. Expansion for Pandemic, new game board that allows you to move the pawns in a laboratory. The goal of this activity is the same as in the base game, finding cures for diseases, but this time in a new way. Behind sealed biohazard doors, scientists race against time to sequence diseases, take samples, and test cures. 4 new roles, new virulent strain events, and a worldwide panic mutation scenario. Players can compete individually or on rival teams when playing with 4 or 6 players. Requires the base game. 2 of the 3 scenarios also require Pandemic on the Brink to play. Okay, so in this expansion you have new boards. Yes, so this is the lab board. You have new action in this expansion, and instead of just removing disease cubes from the board game, the main game board, you take the cubes and put them in this, let's say, petri dishes, and on this board you have actions to sort cubes by color, or select one of each color, to multiply the cubes, and then to distribute cubes on diseases cards looking like this. And all these activities on the lab board are the activities described here. So you take samples, so you take cubes on the world board, you multiply stuff, you test, and now you have to complete, let's say, cards in order to discover the cure. It's a new way to play, it's very interesting. it accommodates to the five viruses, diseases. Okay, for the rest of the modules, blah 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 blah. So new roles, okay. New virulent strain. So it's the module that makes one disease mutating to present new challenges during the course of the game, okay. Worldwide panic mutation. In this module you have other events like flights are grounded, so you can't move long distance until something, okay. And you now have a team mode. So instead of having a cooperative game, you have a game in which players are in team of 2, and the goal is to be the first team to win. I mean, I assume it's as simple as that because I have never played it. Once again, I play this game as a co-op, and so every change that makes it less co-op are not really interesting to me. Okay, so next one is Pandemic the Cure. It's not an expansion for the original game, but a dice-based adaptation. This one is only designed by Matt Leacock, and I have not played it in a long time, but you have the main ideas. You have worlds, you have world regions, you have 4 or maybe 5, I think. Probably 4 in the base game, so you have 4 diseases, and you need to discover all the cures. Not as interesting as the original game. Next one, Pandemic Contagion. Oh, it's a competitive game. After many years of trying to defeat the diseases that threaten mankind's existence, the tables have been turned. You are now the disease, and guess what? There is no cure. I have never played it. Yeah, that's it, I have never played it. It could be interesting, but I don't know. So, next one. Pandemic State of Emergency. The third expansion for Pandemic. 3 new challenges. The Interlands Challenge, in which the disease spread from animals to humans. The Emergency Events Challenge, in which unpredictable events have nasty effects on the game. The Superbug Challenge, in which a 5th disease that cannot be treated threatens the world. To fight off these threats, you must first find its cure, using quarantines to stop the spread of disease in the meantime, then produce vaccine doses. You must eradicate the superbug disease to win. Okay, so the Interlands. I think I can find a board. A photo of a board. Yes, so you have 2 boards showing that in between the cities, the disease are spread to animals. So, the boards look like this. I have not played this module for a long time, so I don't remember all the details. But the idea, I think, is that in addition to all the cities in which I don't remember the exact name, but in addition to all the cities in which there can be an explosion, quote unquote, of the disease, there is also the Interlands. So it makes things harder because there is this reservoir, this animal reservoir, that you cannot treat as easily as the cities. Okay. So the other parts, emergency events. Once again, all the emergency events modules, I don't know which one is from which box. And the Superbug challenge, I think you can see some of the components. So the greenhouses are, you can see it here. You have 4 vaccine factories. You have 24 vaccine doses, and in the game you have to build the vaccine factories, then they produce doses each turn, and you have to go grab the doses and then distribute them. And I think the idea is that you have to distribute the doses to get rid of the sick patient cubes, and only when there are no more purple cubes on the board you can win. And I think it's for this part that you have the quarantines. So you have tokens that you can put in between cities to prevent the apparition of a sick patient in a city. Not one of the modules I play the most, but interesting one. Pandemic promo rolls. It's a promo, so I'm not going to talk about it. Pandemic Legacy Season 1. This one was very... it was something back in the days, 10 years ago. It's a legacy game, so in short, it's a campaign game, but during the campaign you have events changing the games. You have to read cards, and if I remember correctly, you play the month of January. If you succeed, you play February, but if you fail, you play January a second time, and if you fail a second time, you play February, etc. And you either have to win December or win enough game, I don't remember. I hate the concept of legacy games. I don't feel the need to alter my board game to end up with a board game in which I can't go back and play January because the board is no longer the board you should have to play the January scenario. So I never touch a legacy game. But it was a big thing, and for some time I think it was the number 1 game on Board Game Geek, and now it's the 3rd for the overall ranking, the 1st for thematic ranking, and the 3rd for strategy. Okay, so next one. Pandemic the Cure Experimental Meds. Expansion for Pandemic the Cure, so the dice game. A fifth virus spreads across the globe and odd zones make their entrance, changing the rules for the worse. Fortunately, new medical experts have joined the fight to help you. I'm not sure that I have played this expansion, but it looks like it's Pandemic the Cure, but with a fifth disease and new rules. I have no idea what are odd zones. Pandemic Survival Promos, Crisis Mitigator, Relocation Specialist. Expansion for Pandemic. 2 promotional cards. Okay, promotional cards. Reign of Cthulhu by Matt Leacock and Chuck D. Yeager. Experience the classic gameplay with an horrific twist that will have you face 12 odd ones, each threatening the worlds with their unique powers. as players take on the role of investigators attempting to seal a series of portals before monsters of unspeakable horror pour into a world where there is... I start again. As players take on the roles of investigators attempting to seal a series of portals before monsters of unspeakable horrors pour into our world, there is, of course, a high risk of investigators losing their own minds. I think English speakers should use more commas. Yeah. So, Reign of Cthulhu. It's pandemic, but Cthulhu. So, I have never played it. I watched playthroughs of this game, and if I remember correctly, instead of disease cubes, you have very small plastic figures of cultists, and you have to prevent too many cultists to regroup in a city. The cities are Arkham, Dunwich, and the other famous cities from the Lovecraft universe. So you have to prevent them to regroup in a city, because if they regroup, they open a portal, and I think from portals you get shogots, something like that. And as it is written, there is an old one in each game, and it alters the gameplay. I don't remember more details. Iberia by Jesus Torres Castro and Matt Leacock. Take on the roles of nurse, railwayman, rural doctor, sailor, and more to find the cures to malaria, typhus, the yellow fever, and cholera. You will need to travel by carriage, by boat, or by train to help the Iberian populace, and, while doing so, distributing purified water and developing railways that will help you slow the spread of diseases. 2 variants can be added. Influx of patients. The cubes, representing patients, will tend to flock to hospitals to try to get cured. Hospitals also are a bit more powerful. Historical diseases. Instead of being generic, each disease has a specific power to better represent what it is. Malaria, cholera, yellow fever, etc. Well, etc. There is only a 4th one, and it is typhus. So, Iberia is pandemic, but on a different scale. It's only in the Iberian Peninsula. There are differences. For example, to travel by rail, you need to build the rails. Otherwise, I don't remember the details. I have played it, I own it. Oh, by the way, I own the original Pandemic and the 3 expansions. I don't own the dice game, and I don't own Reign of Cthulhu. So, Iberia, yes, it's interesting because it's Pandemic, but Pandemic has 3 expansions. So, yeah, Pandemic is more interesting once you get the expansions. Other promos, so I won't comment it. Pandemic Rising Tide by, sorry for the pronunciation, Jeroen Doemen and Matt Leacock. It is the dawn of the industrial age in the Netherlands. For centuries, the country has relied upon a series of dikes and wind-powered pumps to keep it safe from the constant threat of flooding from the North Sea, but this system is no longer enough. Your goal is to avert tragedy by constructing 4 modern hydraulic structures in strategic locations that will help you defend the country from being reclaimed by the ocean. Water levels in the region are represented by cubes, and as the water containment system currently in place begin to fail, more water cubes are added to the board. With water levels constantly on the rise, failure to maintain the containment system could quickly lead to water spilling across the board. Fortunately, water can be corralled by a strategic placed dike or slowed by pumping water out of a region. Correctly identifying and intervening in an at-risk areas can get you one step closer to victory. So Pandemic Rising Tide is for me the most thematic and best one. I'm going to show you the components. Yes, so let's check a few ones. Okay, so here you have the board. It's a part of the Netherlands. One difficulty with this game is that all the regions have their original name. So either you butcher them or you try to learn how to say, for example, West Brabant, or I don't know, for example, B2V, something like that. This one, impossible to pronounce. Geldersee Valley, I don't know. So you have this board, you have the North Sea, the different regions. You see here these dikes, and the idea is that the sea has a certain elevation, for example 2 water cubes or 3 water cubes or 4, and unprotected regions, meaning regions which don't have a dike between them and the sea, get 1 less cube of water than in the sea, and the adjacent regions 1 less cubes, etc., etc. So a badly placed dike failure can cascade into the flooding of several regions, and in this way it's very thematic because water flows from the highest water elevation to the lowest. Dikes stop the water, and these meeples represent windmills that are used to power pumps. So these mills can remove water cubes from regions, and you have to consider in which region remove the cubes so that these regions are no longer flooding points, let's say. So in this way, really thematic. And I wanted, yes, to show you another thing. You have 4 hydraulic structures that have very powerful effects. And in this game, so it's a standalone game, there are no expansion, but there are gold cards in the 4 colors. And in each game, if you want to play with the variable objectives, you have to draw 1 card from each color. And for example, you have can I see closer? Yes. So let's check a few objective cards. So this one requires population in some regions. This one requires structures in some regions. This one, the installation of pumping stations, and this one, another one with population. So you still have to control the water level, but you also have to place population and protect the population from the flooding. Very, very interesting game. It was co-designed by Jeroen Doemen, who is one of the founders of Splotter Spellen, and it gives you a very challenging co-op game in the style of a Pandemic game. Next one, Pandemic Legacy Season 2. It's a Pandemic Legacy game. Yeah, nothing more to add. Fall of Rome, a very interesting one. It's a pandemic kind game, but in this one you have to protect Rome from the barbarians. You have 5 tribes, they have an invading path, and how to describe it. In other pandemic games, you draw a card and this card says, oh, put a cube in Tokyo, and you directly put the cube in Tokyo. In this one, as the barbarians come from a region and they march towards Rome, if you draw the black Rome card, you don't put a black cube on Rome. Instead, you check where I think they are the Vandals, so you check where the Vandals are currenting on their path, and you put your cube one step closer to Rome on their path. So you see the barbarian coming, you have this logical reasoning of they need to travel. There is also the opportunity to put forts on the borders of the empire. There is also the idea that once you have made the pact with the barbarians, you can turn them into auxiliaries. So another very thematic game, very interesting. Another one I own. In this one, you have a part you have a random element with the dice, meaning that each time you use your legion meeple to fight barbarians, you can never know in advance how well your legion will perform. You throw the dice and you see if you have removed enough barbarians. Next one. Mouse problems. Pandemic rapid response. Disaster has struck. Cities around the world are in desperate need of food, water, vaccines, and other supplies. You and your team belong to the Crisis Response Unit, CRU, an elite team of doctors and specialists. With a specialty-equipped plane, you are uniquely capable of providing life-saving aid anytime, anywhere. Pandemic rapid response is a race against time. Roll dice to create supplies, fly the plane, and make deliveries to cities in need. As the timer counts down, you must quickly coordinate and work together to react to new disasters. Will you and your team be able to respond in time? I have never played it. I have simply to check one thing. 20 minutes time. Doesn't look great. Is it real time? It's real time. I hate games in which I am forced to play fast. I don't think I'm a slow player, but I want to take my time. It's a leisure. Please don't speed me up. So, not going to talk more about it. Next one. Pandemic Hot Zone, North America. Disease threatens North America and only you can stop it. In Pandemic Hot Zone, North America, players work together against the game to discover cures for 3 deadly diseases that threaten the continent. Travel to different North American cities to treat local populations, prevent outbreaks, and share research with your team. Can you discover the cures before it's too late? Hot Zone North America is a shorter, more portable version of the best-selling cooperative game Pandemic. Okay, so it's Pandemic with less of it. 30 minutes playing time, yeah, not for me. Pandemic Legacy Season 0. it's a Pandemic Legacy game, but in this one... So if you check the box art, it looks dated. This looks like a spy, this looks like a spy, this looks like a secret lab, this looks like a Soviet prison, I guess. Never played it because it's legacy. Next one, World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King, by Justin Campaignen, Alexander Ortyoff-Tank, and Michael Sanfilippo. So, first thing, Matt Leacock is not credited. Okay. In World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King, players journey to the frozen continent of Northrend to face the armies of the Lich King. This pandemic system game showcases familiar mechanisms and gameplay, now tweaked to embrace the setting of the Wrath of the Lich King. Forts, temples, battlegrounds, and more populate the game boards as you and your fellow heroes journey across the cold landscape. Along the way, you'll set up strongholds, complete quests, and do battle with legions of undead. Okay, so pandemic with no diseases in the World of Warcraft universe. Yeah, I never considered the purchase of this one. I have nothing to comment. I'm just going to check a few pictures, photos. Okay, so the game board looks like that. Okay, well, next one, Pandemic Hot Zone Europe. Well, it's Pandemic Hot Zone, but it's no longer in North America, it's in Europe. I have not played it. I don't think I have details to add. Next one, Star Wars The Clone Wars, by Alexander Ortloff-Tang, who also designed the World of Warcraft one. In Star Wars The Clone Wars, players take on the roles of legendary Jedi heroes and utilize the familiar gameplay mechanisms of the Pandemic series as they travel from planet to battle the Separatist threat. Battle droids attack on sight, and a planet invaded by too many will fall under a blockade, injuring Jedi from liberating it from the enemy or accomplishing missions. Features cards and dice-based combat. Okay, so it's the universe of Clone Wars, and there is dice-based combat, maybe like in Fall of Rome. I'm no longer a fan of Star Wars, so I have never purchased it. I think it has some fans. Yeah, nothing more to say. Just going to check a few pictures. So let's say the board, components. Yeah. So this is the board with, I assume, well-known planets such as Datomi, Alderaan, Coruscant, Mustafar, and Mandalore. Okay. Some game pieces. Okay. And the last one, The Lord of the Rings, Fate of the Fellowship, published this year designed by Matt Leacock. The Lord of the Rings, Fate of the Fellowship is a cooperative game in which each player controls two characters, lending their unique abilities to protect Frodo, battle enemies in pivotal locations, and evade the menacing Nazgul and Sauron's searching eye. Okay, I have not played it, but for fans of Lord of the Rings, it seems interesting. And if you check the ranking, it is really well ranked in the overall ranking board and in the thematic one. I don't think I will buy it one day, unless maybe I find it at a very interesting price. Okay, so the list is done, and a summary. Which one are the interesting ones? Well, so in my opinion, the most interesting ones are, of course, Pandemic, the original one, the 3 expansions for Pandemic, On the Brink, In the Lab, and State of Emergency. Pandemic the Cure is Pandemic but faster. What is the word? Not easier, but yes, smaller, more compact, less heavy in the complexity rating ID. Pandemic the Cure, the experimental meds expansion, because if you enjoy Pandemic the Cure, the expansion is useful. Pandemic Rising Tide, because it's one of the best, one of the most thematic Pandemic system game. You have several levels of difficulties, and yes, the theme is really interesting. The only drawback is the fact that you have to make efforts to pronounce the Dutch names. And last one, Follow From. For the theme, for the new way the cubes are placed on the board, and yes, for the interaction between the theme and the special mechanisms of this one. And I think this will end the video. So once again, I'm not used to speaking English, I'm not used to recording English. The editing part will be a nightmare, because when I started this YouTube channel, I think it was the 20th of December 2018, I needed a handful of videos to get used to my own voice during the editing process, but I'm not used to my own English voice, so yes, I think I will have shivers and what is the word? Grind my teeth during the editing process. I hope the video was interesting. I hope it's good enough English pronunciation. I wanted to make something short, but I think it will be a 45 minutes video. Sorry. I don't really know how to be short when I talk about games I enjoy. And I think it's all I have to say in this wrap up. So don't hesitate to comment about my English, about the content, about my opinions, or about anything constructive you have to share. And voilà. I hope you enjoyed this video. I wish you a good day, a good evening, good games, good meals, because why not? And I'll see you around another time. Bye.